What's going on, everybody? Welcome to What Up Clay, the channel. We talk about all kinds of things, how to fix it, build it, maintain it, as well as product reviews. Today we're doing another product review. We're actually doing the Red Racing. This right here is the Factory Select. This is the top motor that Red Racing has. You see here, it's Factory Select. This is Roar approved. Now, the numbers on this were extremely good when I'm doing the testing and just doing regular load and inspection. But anyhow, let's get an idea what this thing can really do. We're going to put on the Jerry and see how it compares to the other motors. Okay, so I have it loaded on the Jerry. I have the 27 tooth pinion on here. As you guys know, I start off 27 tooth. I move all the way up to 32 tooth right here, and then we jump up to the 41 tooth here. I'm going to check the RPMs of the load motor, and so that we can compare the speed, how fast this is turning this, and what the performance is on the drive motor, which is the Red Racing. So anyhow, let's go ahead and do a auto test. Everything's tightened down. Everything's good. Okay, here we go. Okay, 10.42 amps, 2921 kV. So yeah, that right there, 45.5 degrees. Here's other numbers, don't really matter, but you can see them anyways. Now let's go ahead and check the RPMs on it, see what the RPMs are. And then I'm going to run it for 20 seconds. So let me go and get my timer set up for that. Got my tachometer ready, and here we go. Alright, now check the temperature on it. Temperature is 95 degrees. Alright, that's the 27 tooth. Let's go ahead and throw the 28 tooth on it. Okay, now the 28 tooth is on. We are ready to go. Let me go ahead and do the auto test. Okay, I have a 10.5 amps, 2916 kV. There you have it. Let's go ahead and do the RPM run. And ready, set, go. Looks like it went about 21,800 RPMs on the drive motor. Alright, now for the 29 tooth. After I get the temperature. Temperature is at 104.5. Alright, on to number 29. Alright, next up is gear number 29. see, we have 10.91 at 10.91 amps, 2900 kV. Let's go ahead and do the timer now. And let's go. Okay, that's the 29 tooth. Let's go to the 30 tooth after I take the temperature. Temperature went down. It went to 99 degrees. That's odd. Huh. I guess it likes to run cool right there. It only sat for maybe a minute tops for me to swap out the pinion gear, so it didn't really have a whole lot of time to cool down. But let's go ahead and move on to the 30 tooth. Okay, I have the 30 tooth on there. Let's go ahead and do an auto run. Alright, 11.20 amps, 2892 kV. Let's go ahead and do a RPM run. Let's go. Okay, now it's time for the 31. After I check the temp. $106. Alright, they got 31 tooth on there. Let's go ahead and run the auto. Alright, 11.45 amps, 2877 kV. Let's go ahead and run the RPMs. And let's go. Let's go check the temp on that. Temp on it is 112. Okay, time for the 32. Okay, 32 tooth is on there now. You can tell which tooth I'm on by seeing which one's missing. So that's from 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32, and then we have the 41 right there. So let's go ahead and do the auto run. Okay, 11.74 amps, 2862 kV. Now time for the RPMs. Ready, set, go. Temperature's 112. Let me get that in there. There you go. 112. Okay. Now for the last one. 41 tooth. Okay, we got the big boy here, the 41 tooth. One that separates the mice from the men on the motors. Said it's a high RPM motor. Hopefully it has the torque and it doesn't slow down, because again, that'd be kind of embarrassing for the manufacturer. All right, auto run. 41 tooth. And didn't hesitate. We have 15.14 amps. That's pretty low. 2717 kV. 44.3 degrees. Let's see what the all the mechanics in there are all still good. The M-bell deviation, order symmetry, and Hall signal deviation. It's all still below 2. Okay, let's go ahead and do the RPM. Here we go. All right. That was a lot of RPM. That's 27,800 RPMs. Almost 20,000 RPMs spinning the load motor. So let's go ahead and put the numbers on the spreadsheet, and I'll go over the numbers and then give you a final review on it. After, of course, I give you the temperature. $115 degrees. That's right there with the rest of the motors. They all average about 115, 116. So 115 degrees. All right. Off to the spreadsheet. All right. First off, I'd like to apologize for the audio. I know it's not loud and as clear as the film with my camera, but I'm using the microphone on my computer because I'm recording my screen. I've tried different aftermarket microphones and what have you, and it comes out to the same thing, or worse. Anyhow, so now I'm using a microphone on the computer. But now right here, we're looking at the meat and potatoes of the whole shebang bang. So we have, again, this is the factory selected 17.5, the Red Racing. Now, Red Racing does have a pro stock version. I don't know if it's roar legal. Red Racing says it's roar legal, but like I mentioned before in my other videos, the Roar Racing website is down. I don't know if it's because they said it's possible that it could have gotten hijacked or anyways stolen or whatever. Somebody probably broke into it, but I can't get on the site right now, so I can't verify. But anyways, they have a pro stock version out that is supposed to be a lot torquier than these versions here that I'm going over. But anyways, again, this is the factory selected. This is not the pro stock. It's just a regular VX4 version. We have the free spin was 24,735, and as you can see, the load motor, when it spun the load motor with a 27 tooth, these are the numbers. Now, one thing I noticed with the Res Racing, the factory select, is the numbers are really, really consistent. I'm talking really consistent. You're looking at, see, like if you look over here at the RPM increases, RPM's a increase, you know, 672, 580, 680, 600. I mean, it's roughly on average they're close to the 600 RPM mark, except for the 680 and the 672 is a little up. But you know what I'm saying? It's not like 200 or 300 RPMs higher like on the other motors. Then the amp draws were also pretty consistent, as you see here. They're not elaborate amp draws. Changing amps as well as the KVs. I mean, the highest KV change I had, well, except for jumping up to a 41 tooth, was if I go up each tooth, the highest was a difference of 16 kV, and everything else was a 5, an 8, a 15, and a 15, so on. Very consistent. I don't know if that has to do with well, obviously it has to do with the way the motor is constructed, but does it show that a motor is better engineered? Now these numbers, you guys saw me get these numbers so you know they're not flubbed or anything like that, and I have no reason to flub numbers in the first place. But how do these numbers compare to the other motors? So I also recently posted the VX4 standard motor, the 17.5. Right here it's a 27,657. The factory select is still 200 RPMs faster. Looks like it's about that all the way along the board. And the same amperage here at the 41 tooth. On the standard, you see the RPMs, they jump around a bit. The amperage jumps around quite a bit. Same with the KVs, they jump around a lot more. So they're not as consistent as the factory select. Anyways, the same amperage, 15.4, 15.4 but this one right here is 27,807. But how does it compare to the other ones? So let's say we have 27,870 at 15.4. This right here, it's faster than this one. But this is the double down, so we can't really compare that too much. A different world. It's faster. The Reds is faster than this, and it has less amp draw. So it shows better numbers than the slot machine. The Surpass V6, which is one of the top favorites. The Reds is almost 400 RPMs faster, with a little bit less amp draw. 15.4 versus 15.5. The Exalt, the Reds has a higher RPM, less amp draw. If you notice, the temperatures are all the same too on the ones. The G4R, the most popular motor, the most popular video I have, I've said this before, is my review on the G4R. I don't have the 41 tooth on this one or the Tekin, but if we go back to the Reds, let's go to 32. It's 22,903 to 1174. So let's see. It's better than this one because we have 1174, 11.74 amps. 22,903, 22,903. Now it has almost the same here because this is 22,775. This is 22,903 with 1174. This one here is oh, where'd it go? No, never mind. It has less amp draw. Reds is less amp draw. Reds has less amp draw, high RPM. And the Red, same here, less amp draw, higher RPM. So what it's shown is, now this one here is a 31 tooth is 23,876. The Red was a 22,903, 1174. Now if you go back up, 2313, 1104, that's at 12.8 amps. Now if you remember right, the amperage draw, the amp increase on the Reds was, they're pretty low. So for the Reds to have an increase of 1 amp draw, you can slap on at least 2 teeth. And then at that point you'll be faster because you're getting consistent about 600 RPMs more out of a tooth. So you'd be 1200 RPMs. So you'd be up in the 24,000 RPM range with 2 teeth. All you have to do to match this one is go up 1 tooth. And let's see here. You go up 1 tooth, that bump it up about let's say a half amp. So that'd be 1225. And then you'd be at 23,500 RPMs. See, that'd be faster than the Hobby Wing. Right here. Well, it'd be about the same almost, darn close. Actually, no, it's not. It's scratch everything said. I was looking at the wrong one. So you go up this right here, be almost 1,000 RPMs faster, but you're also at almost 2 amps more. So, I mean, you could. Point is, you could gear up the Reds racing one to exceed this RPM and have the same amp draw. And then the Tekin, same thing. The Res Race has a higher RPM. So, what does that mean? So, so there's, like I always say, there's tens of thousands of racers out there. So it's going to be, every single one of them has a different opinion what these numbers can mean. But we cannot deny that the higher RPMs with the same load, these things are having, because if you have the same exact RPMs, you're going to have the same exact load. Well, under the same exact load, you have something that has lower amp draw. It's obviously going to be a torquier motor. At the same time, if you have the motors with the same amp draw, but one of them has a higher RPM, then obviously that one's going to be a faster motor. So right now, I mean, by looking at this, it looks like, especially for road racing and stuff like that, this factory selected VX4 is probably the fastest motor that I have on here, minus the double down. So double down, you gear the snot out of that thing and it'll rip. Anyhow, my final thoughts on the Red Racing, the factory select. It's a very impressive motor. It's very consistent. Like I said, it's also very, very well built, very well done, very clean. I'll say. Let's just put it that way. It's very cleanly built. Looks like there's a lot of attention to detail when it was assembled. It's shown on here as being the faster motor. It still has torque, but then it still has some pretty good RPM, some pretty good speed on it as well. How it's going to perform on a high grip track with an all-wheel drive buggy or something like that, or you need torque galore on it, it's a short track, whatever, that I wouldn't know. But I tell you, when a open track, wide open track, something like that, this would be a very, very good motor to have. What I don't like is didn't like how they had the certificate did not have the Gauss reading on the rotor. But I would like to see a higher Gauss rotor available for this motor. For if you ever want to take it, if you need something with higher torque at the time. But I looked on the websites, I didn't see any rotors, aftermarket rotors, that you could purchase for this. I did see titanium screws, different colors. I thought that was kind of cool, different colors. I know it's people are like, what, whatever, but everybody likes to put titanium screws on things on their buggies to show the bling. Just make it something different. But anyhow, That's my thoughts on this motor. If you guys like this video, please help the video out. Hit the like and subscribe. It allow me to review more motors more often. But if you didn't like this video, like and subscribe it anyway, just so you can make fun of the rest of my videos. All right, everybody, you take care.